Hello?
Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you guys joining in for Race 5 of the gRaceland Shootout Series here on Saturday. We are at none other than Kansas Motor Speedway, among one of the world's most modern motorsports facilities. This place opened for business in 2001, some 15 miles west of Kansas City. The International Speedway Corporation, originally consisting of a 1.5-mile tri-oval with uniform 15 degrees of banking. This facility actually went under a major revamp back in 2012 that resulted in progressive banking between 17 and 20 degrees. Almost up to 6-turn road course with a 2.37-mile road course on the inside, and has at least 72,000 seats for spectators. These guys are going to be getting ready to go here as we have already commenced qualifying here. Let's take a look at what we've got coming up and what the race is looking like here tonight. 35 laps, 2 sets of tires for them in the pit. No fast repairs and a 50% fuel limit. Good temperature out there on the track at 71 degrees, but they've got to be super, super careful because they need to wait about another lap or so. Hopefully some of these guys have figured out during qualifying to allow the car to slow down a little bit, allow it to heat up first, and then start really pouring on the gas to remain stuck there on the track here at Kansas. We'll see if we can get some of our best times up here. Right now, Robert Yost in the front, Jerome Cooper sitting second, but a couple of these other drivers out here trying to nail down some solid times, especially ones like Billy Stanley and Fireball Woody out here. Fireball right now sitting 7th, but he's got a second lap to go here. Got to pick up the pace there a little bit for the number 32. Rotating on Jerome Cooper, who was originally sitting 2nd, knocked down at 10th. Got a bunch of other drivers. I know Randy Bledsoe is going to be looking to really turn his luck around here. Hasn't really gotten a high spot yet so far this year. Actually, last race he ended up 10th place. He's got a lot of work to do. Adam Robertson, at least our season winner from season 2, got his last win last week. And last week we were at Bristol Motor Speedway, so it was definitely a tumble up there at such a short track. Definitely plenty of cautions there that ended up slowing a lot of those drivers down from really being able to get the run they were looking for. Robert Lynch out there going for his second lap here. He's got a little more to go. 8th place. I know he's not wanting to start in beef jerky, unlimited beef jerky out there. I'm trying to see if we can find a little something there. Robert Lynch second. So Rob Yost still in the running for the pole award here. Greg Myers is now out there. Good to see Greg Myers out here tonight. Greg Myers has been doing pretty well lately. Kind of been on the wrong end of the stick here past couple of races, getting wrecked out a few times. And definitely, if we want to talk about points out there, we can mention it here in just a moment. We'll actually take a look at our championship run. Let's take a look at them now while we got the chance. Phillip Temples is in the lead at 213. Robert Doig sitting here second at 199, and Robertson with his win last week moves him up to 190. Phillip Temples still edging out the lead, but I will say Phillip Temples starting 3rd here tonight. Qualifying does matter pretty big here in this league. These guys score some bonus points, especially for qualifying 1 through 10 out there. Depending on where they are, I think it's 10 if you get on top on the front, and then it should be 1 point if you are in 10th place. But then if you get extra points if you come out as a good driver, in other words, 0 incidents out there to be able to get that. But it looks like Robert Yost knocked off the top of the chart here. Tommy Delago is going to get it. No other drivers taken behind the wheel. Butch Gilpin, Dean Viney, and Bobby Narberg out there have yet to get behind the wheel just yet. They got about a minute to do it, and I don't think they're going to have enough time to even lay down one lap here. So not looking too good. It looks like the battle will continue for a couple of them. A couple other drivers out here. Richard Sutton sitting 5th. Robert Lynch 3rd. So Austin Evans in the 9th. Not too bad for Austin Evans. Ended up in a 9th place start here as he placed 2nd last week. So last week at Bristol was actually Robertson, Austin Evans, Robert Doig, Phillip Temples, and Doug Neal 1 through 5. I believe I do not see Mr. Doug Neal out here tonight. I think he's got something else going on if I remember reading right. That he may be a starting park on this upcoming run here. All right, that should do it. That should get us to our warm-up here for tonight. We'll kind of talk to a couple of our drivers down there on the track. See if we can find some of these other fellers out there and see what they got going on. I know Daniel Holloway, I believe his wife will be the Grand Marshal for tonight. See if we can find... let's see if we can find Robert Lynch out there. Haven't talked to Robert here in a little while. I think last time I talked to him might have been at the other short track here, but we'll see if we can grab a hold of him and reel him down here. But first, let's try to grab a hold of Tommy Delago. Let's see if we can grab a hold of Tommy. Tommy, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Definitely pole award for you tonight. Awesome job here. Talk to me about, what's the key to being fast out here?
Man, I don't know. I just found some at the last second. I mean, I've never raced trucks at this track, so it looks like everybody's staying low, but traditionally I've run high here in other cars, so that's low was speed, but it's going to scrub the tires a lot faster here, so it's be interesting what everybody picks.
Yeah, no kidding. I
got to save some tires or be fast, and I'm probably going to go to the high side during the racing for a while, and then try to come back later.
Alrighty. What if you're thinking that, with everybody going low, they'll have that early speed, but you're aiming more for the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that this race can go with little to no yellows. Obviously, if we start getting a bunch of yellows, then I'll probably have to change my strategy. So.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Just having fun, man. And obviously, we're going to the 2 bags of jerky this week. We'll go to the number 2 qualifier.
Oh, fancy. I think that's Rob Yost. I believe Phillip Temples ended up nailing 3rd. Right now, Phillip Temples is in the lead on points. How's that kind of change your mindset heading into the night?
It doesn't change any of my mindset. I mean, I should be in the lead. I've been wrecked 2 of the 4 races. So it is what it is. I know there's 2 drops, but I'll probably have to use my drops, for the races that I have to go work in real life. But my goal is just to see how high on the points I can get, even though I'm going to miss some races, and have some fun with all these guys. They're just great guys.
All right, man. Give me your shout-outs here, Tommy.
Oh, shout-out, obviously, Beef Jerky Limited. My wife for letting me do this. Obviously, I got to hurry up and get this done and go to dinner with her. Shout-out to Victory Sims. I run one of their rigs. Great company. Obviously, Sudden Death works for them. And shout out to Real Optics. They make the inserts that Bomb Dude and I wear in our VR, so we don't have to wear glasses. And actually, they got blue light blockers, and they're seem to open up the field of view with them versus wearing nothing or glasses. So, Real Optics, man, go lose the glasses, get the inserts.
I agree. All right, Tommy Delago, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, and that'll be it for Tommy Delago. Let's see if we can run down. See if I can run down Robert Lynch here and see if we can grab a hold of him. Let's see if we can grab him. Robert Lynch, you got a copy?
I do.
All right, man. Definitely a tough track here tonight. What's the outlook?
Well, just got to keep it clean, and hopefully, gonna have to have a drafting partner help out a little bit. But that's about it. I just have to keep out of any incidents, keep my tires, as fresh as long as possible. I mean, we're looking at maybe 15, 16 laps before they start going away. It all depends, but it's a fun track. I love this track. So,
all right. Some guys are kind of seesawing back and forth whether high or low line is the key to winning here tonight. What's your take on it?
Well, the low line's going to be fast in the beginning. Then, in order to conserve, you're going to have to go in the upper line. I don't know. It all depends on who you can get to work with you. Because if they don't stay with you in the draft and help push, or you help push them, and that's just like Daytona. It's gonna play out.
All right. Well, some of the other drivers are tossing around the fact if it goes a bunch of cautions, low line's where you're going to want to be. If this isn't green all the way, high line's going to be where you want to be. Do you agree?
I do agree. If it's 10 laps or less on tires, it's the low line all the way. But once you get more than 10 laps, it's the high line.
All right. Well, give me your shout-outs here because you're about to grid up.
Of course, AK Racing, Hound Dog Racing, GRaceland Shootout Series.com. Of course, Simtrax Broadcasting. We love having you broadcast our races here. Just thank you out to the fans,
All right, Robert Lynch. Well, the fans will be tuned in. Let's see how well you can do tonight. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's going to do it here. Definitely Interesting one for sure is what we've got coming up. I'm excited to see what we've got these 35 laps and what these guys decide to do. This should be awesome, awesome, awesome. But we'll wait for these guys to get gridded up here in just a moment, and then we'll head through our starting lineup. Just a second. I think Rob Yost is getting out there. There they go. All right, well, let's go ahead and hear a word from our Grand Marshal and the most famous words in NASCAR.
Hello, Graceland. I'm Amanda Holloway. I'm the Hershey Kiss driver, the Candyman, Daniel Holloway's wife. I just want to wish you guys all the best of luck tonight. Let's go racing!
Alrighty, let's go ahead and get this one started off. Tommy Delago will be in the front next to Rob Yost. Robert Lynch sitting third with Phillip Temples on the outside of row 2 sitting fourth. Richard Sudden Death sitting fifth with Adam Robertson, last week's winner, sitting sixth. Daniel Holloway will be our 7th place starter. Outside will be Robert Doig. Row 5, Austin Evans with David Cox. Awesome job to see David Cox up here in the 119, getting his opportunity to get farther up in the points running. Billy Stanley actually starting a little farther back in that 11th position. A lot of work for him to do to get into the top 10. Larry Fairman will be 12th. Rotating to the following guys in the back, Greg Myers will be 13th. And season 1 here, Andy Bledsoe, 14th. Fireball Woody will be 15th. Jerome Cooper, 16th. Butch Gilpin, glad to see him out here, will be starting in the 17th position next to Dean Viney. And rounding out the back of the field will be Bobby Narberg. So let's see how these guys give this one a run. I know last week, bunch of cautions, but short track, what's to be expected. Kansas tonight, and we will be at Chicagoland barring this race. So let's see how we get going here. Is Tommy Delago in the front. He's going to try to lead us off as Rob Yost is trying to chase him down the 83 Ford. Fortunately, Tommy Delago, being with Beef Jerky Unlimited, will be giving the 2 bags of beef jerky to Rob Yost. So Phillip Temples almost misses a 3-week streak he has been getting for the pole award, so he'll end up with 4 bags of jerky, but not 6 this time. Rob Yost is now catching back up. Inside line for him. We talked to Tommy Delago. Outside line is what he has chosen. But as they come through the turn 4 here, what ends up happening is a 3-wide condition. Robert Lynch on the inside, Phillip Temples. Let's go here as a caution has come out. I think Fireball Woody might have been involved in this one. There he is, inside of him, and we catch him just as his truck is slowing down. Definitely not good. Looks like Butch Gilpin and Fireball Woody may have been caught up in a little something here in the background. Maybe we'll be able to see what happened. Hold on just a second. Let's roll this on back. It looks like it gets much, much rougher here from this angle. Taking a look at the 53 truck here. Looks like he was spinning out already. And then Randy Bledsoe caught him here. Fireball Woody gets caught up with Greg Myers. Ends up spinning these two out. That's Gilpin trying to get out of the way. Gilpin looks like he survives, gets out of there. Definitely not good for some of those drivers out there. They got a lot of work to do. Bledsoe, I think he's coming down pit road. Remember, there are no fast repairs here, so some solid bang-up work to the front of his race car. Well, Bledsoe look like he's able to survive. I can't blame him. Come down. He probably didn't have to take tires, but he's got to fix a little bit of that damage in the left front. And you hate seeing that right there on lap 1. These guys kind of matching each other up a little bit. So he's going to have a damaged race car for the rest of his night. 10th place for him last week, and boy, now it's just the uphill climb here. He's got a lot of things to think about. Still staying in the front. Not too much change here so far. Doig has moved up to 7th, so everybody 7th on back has moved up at least 1 position. Doig, Evans, Cox, and Stanley have moved up one, as well as Larry Fairman. Up 2 positions will be Jerome Cooper, Gilpin, Viney, and Narberg. Only guys who have pit. Daniel Holloway actually came down to pit, and that's where everybody gained that extra position. So I don't know if maybe he's kind of taking it a little bit easy. See, it was a 5-second pit stop. Quick top off on fuel, and back out he goes. So back in the front row, Delago and Yost. Side by side will be Lynch and Temples. I see a little something heating up there. I think Temples and Robert Lynch side by side heading into that one turn. Coming out of 4, that was looking pretty dicey there for most of those drivers. Hopefully they'll be able to kind of straighten this out a little bit. Only 35 laps in this one. Do want to give a shout out there to our sponsors, 5-Star Beverages and Beef Jerky Unlimited out there. Appreciate them coming on board here with the GRaceLand Shootout Series. If you don't know about 5-Star Beverages, they can make your drinks come true. 5-Star Beverages can design your drink systems and work from everything with beer, soda, coffee, and tea. They even do sales and service installs. They are your beverage specialists. And anything you can dream of on tap, fountain machines, coffee, and bubblers for tea and slushies. All right, let's get back to it here. Tommy Delago, Rob Yost here in the front row. Let's get her going. Right now out there in the chat, somebody saying 30 minutes of repairs out there. That's not good. But one of those drivers is out there, guys. Let's take a look at where they're racing now. Out there in the front, looks like, boy, Phillip Temples still side by side here with Robert Lynch. These two guys, I know they've raced together and side by side a whole bunch, but man, it just gets more and more nerve-wracking each and every time you see them racing. You almost think they're going to make contact. You think something bad's going to happen, and then they try their best to not cause any sort of issue. Right now, a couple of drivers shuffling through. Now, a little shuffle through because the caution laps do not count. That's why you saw the little bit of a skip right there, but that's going to go ahead and straighten back out. Rob Yost in the lead. Phillip Temples sitting second. Tommy Delago trying to see if he can squeeze past Robert Lynch to secure third. I think he'll be under fire again heading into this turn as Lynch dives down toward the bottom. Adam Robertson on the outside of Richard Sutton. Right now, Tommy Delago back three positions. Now, I will admit, he did talk about riding this high line, see if he can stay out there. Whether that's going to pay off or not. If that early caution is just was a fluke here, and then he's going to be able to capitalize later on in this run, we'll have to see. Tommy Delago now sitting 4th. He's able to get this turn exit speed, and that's exactly what you get, riding in that high in that turn. Robert Lynch will be able to capitalize again if he stays low. But running away with it here, Rob Yost and Phillip Temples now starting to get about a half-second lead off the nose of Robert Lynch. Robert Lynch still trying to run him down here. Richard Sutton being a lot more conservative, I will admit. Laying back as far as he is, but Billy Stanley kind of using this to his advantage, hits that aerodynamic bubble and starting to reel these guys in. So Billy Stanley originally starting outside the top 10, getting pretty deep into it now, sitting 8th. He'll be battling alongside the number 9 Chevrolet of Robert Baumdoig as we can get through 3 exit of 4 here. Continuing on this race, looking pretty good. Tommy Delago gives a little bump there to Robert Lynch. I'm sure he didn't appreciate that. No room for error here as we continue battling around into 1. Robert Lynch has switched it up. He was originally on the inside. I think Delago's kind of figuring out there may be something going on here. He's got to start making up the pace as Phillip Temples is now taking the lead away from Robert Yost. Phillip Temples hard on the tires here. He's going to be into the lead early as he ran down Rob Yost. Looking pretty good here so far, and we're still taking a look here at this top 3 position where Tommy Delago is. He's seeing these guys pulling away and thinks Lynch might be kind of being a little too conservative here. The 86 Chevrolet's got to run them down right out. Not looking too good here so far. Taking a look at the battle box here in the bottom, you see the difference between Rob Yost and Delago, about that 6-7 tenths of a second off that mark. Got to pick up the pace here a little bit. Robert Lynch keeping a good area there, but you see Lynch trying to kind of duck in here, but he's not finding any room at all as Adam Robertson's trying to close the door here on that top side. Able to get a little room there. Looks like Billy Stanley sliding on the bottom. Number 9, Bomb Dude out here is trying to really make a move farther up in the chart. Austin Evans following along. I think Austin Evans will have a little something extra here toward the later end of this race. But he's got to keep pushing. Let's keep going here. Number 9 looking pretty good. Butch Gilpin, he ended up avoiding that wreck there with Fireball Woody and Greg Myers. Both those guys are still down pit. Butch Gilpin, we saw him slide through the grass, has made up 7 positions. So originally starting 17th, has now entered into the top 10. Great job by Butch Gilpin here tonight, as he's the hard charger of the night here so far. Dean Viney's moved up 5, but David Cox being a little more conservative than any other driver out there. Unfortunately, he's lost 5 positions due to that, but hey, David Cox doing a fantastic job in the 119. Let's rotate back up front where it looks like Robert Lynch is battling alongside Adam Robertson. We are staying in the top 5 a lot here tonight. These guys are shuffling it up a good bit. As we're talking about shuffling it up, Phillip Temples, he's ahead by a quarter of a second. But Robert Lynch, you see him kind of cross up. Didn't like the nose there of Adam Robertson, kind of taking the air off the nose of Robert Lynch. Lynch drops down toward the bottom, see if he can get something going. Well, rotating back to old Billy Stanley back here. Billy Stanley might be under fire here, like Butch Gilpin. May move him back, but oh no. Billy Stanley's going to have some things to think about there. He may have to come back down for repair. 25 to go. And it looks like Austin Evans is around. Not quite sure what slowed him down. Looks like he rotated up and clipped that wall. When he clipped the wall, it turned him sideways. But we're going to have to head to a replay here, and let's see what happens. Should be a pretty easy one. Taking a look at this. Rotating. It looks like the 95 Richard Sutton comes up and clips the 20. He tries to come back off the wall, but Billy Stanley's right there. Spins him on around. Look at that. Look at Holloway. Yeah. Great avoidance there. Underneath he goes. Excellent avoidance. Oh, you got to really give a hats off to some of these guys who are able to avoid these wrecks like that. They see it coming, they see it happening, and then really being able to make that right decision when the time counts. Let's take a look at it from Daniel Holloway's truck here. Patience. A lot of patience. That's exactly what you see right there. So Daniel Holloway, fantastic job out of him, continuing on. And not destroying his race car. A couple of guys coming down pit. I would probably say everybody's going to come down for a set of tires. It would definitely be early in the race, but I didn't see much fall off on the tires for the race. So they'll have 2 in there if these guys decide to start taking right sides or both sides. We'll have to see. Tommy Delago would be not the first one in the pit. Phillip Temples would be. Temples gets out first. Tommy Delago with a 14:97 pit stop time, able to squeeze out in front of Rob Yost. Great job there. So Delago will be side by side there with Phillip Temples in the front for the next start. So they'll have 25 to go on this one. Billy Stanley, fast pit stop for him. Now I will admit, Billy Stanley trying a little bit of pit strategy here. 10.5 seconds for him. So a set of right side tires and back out he's going to go. Now, this could work in his favor to try to tighten that race car up a little bit and see if he can get a better turn into these banking turns, which has just been quite a feat for some of these guys out there. It looks like David Cox may have had a little bit of an extended pit stop, but I think he gets out without having to get an EOL here. So back out he goes. Austin Evans is still down pit, so he's got some work to do on that race truck out there. I don't think he's going to be down a couple laps here. Well, that's a bummer out there, so hopefully some of these guys are going to give it another shot here. So right now where David Cox came out, it's got him in the lead, but it should not be that way. Pace truck lights are still on. Let's see if we can go ahead and let's see if we can grab a hold of Daniel Holloway here. Daniel Holloway, you got a copy?
I do.
All right, man. How nervous were you avoiding that last wreck?
Well, at first, I didn't even see it. I saw sparks, and some of them guys were started talking, and then I went low, and then I saw Austin spinning, and I just started hitting the brakes a little bit, let the car drift up, and then clear the wreck.
Yeah, well, that was definitely tough, man. We definitely we actually took a ride along with you. You rotated to the bottom off the gas, but really a lot of discipline you got to show to let back, you know, to not get back on the gas too soon as Austin Evans came back up the track.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's hard to decide when they're spinning like that. It's just sometimes a little bit of luck too. But I was slowed enough to where I could have come to a complete stop, and that would have been fine still.
All right, well, give me a shout outs here, Daniel, because it looks like you're probably doing a fuel and going back out there.
Yeah, trying to do a little strategy, but shout out to Billy and the gRaceland Series here, Beef Jerky Unlimited sponsoring, and 5-Star Beverage on board also, and let's see this little Hershey Kisses truck get up front here.
All righty, I believe your wife was the Grand Marshal today.
That's what I just heard.
All right, yeah. Daniel Holloway, we'll hopefully we'll catch you after the race.
All right, thank you.
All right, everybody, Daniel Holloway there on the radio, having a little chat with us there. Phillip Temples and Tommy Delago are going to be side by side for this restart. Rob Yost has lost a position during this race, sitting third. Right now, Robert Doig sitting fourth, and Lynch will be right there as well. So this is actually, I think Doig's actually sitting fifth. Yeah, he should be sitting fifth, and Robert Lynch up to fourth. Outside line kind of sandbagging it here a little bit. Definitely not need to tighten it up there just a little bit. Otherwise, they're getting caught way off this restart here. Lynch may be trying to do something a little bit with his advantage here. Phillip Temples, great jump on the restart as we get going with 24 left to go. Now, what I would hope is everybody kind of using their head right now. We've got a fresh set of tires on the truck, so hopefully we don't end up like a spin before. I know the track being the temperature that it is, it gets tougher and tougher out there. So take a look at the track temperature now, still 71 on the track. So really, really cold. If this was probably a 90-degree track, these guys would be ripping around here with a lot more confidence. But until these tires heat up, this truck isn't going to drive with worth anything out there. Let's rotate on through. Tommy Delago looks like he's going to be trying to run him down. But looks like Rob Yost, bottom line for him, he's going to be a lot more aggressive on these tires. Push his way through. 83's got his spotter on there. Buy him a steak dinner because it looks like the 83 of Rob Yost does not rotate up into the 86, which I'm sure Tommy Delago appreciates a bunch. Randy Bledsoe has at least gotten into the top 10, sitting sixth. Excellent job by him. And I believe the only couple of guys out there who've done any kind of real different pit strategy here was Billy Stanley with that 10-second pit stop. He is unfortunately now down to 15th. So a lot of work for him to do out there on the track. Now, a couple of other guys, Adam Robertson had a 38-second pit stall time. He either sped down or he had some damage to fix out there in the 28.4. So a lot of switching up. I know guys you're looking out there for your favorite drivers, trying to figure out why they're moving up or down is easier to say from their angle than it is up here. I'm not 100% sure as to why they ended up seesawing back and forth, but fastest on the track would be Adam Robertson with a 30.87. So right now he is on the move right here, 4 wide there, coming through 2 and 3. Looks like Robert Lynch trying to see if he can open the gap here a little bit, but I don't think he expected Randy Bledsoe to be on the bottom. Tommy Delago, high side for him. He has lost a whole ton of speed now as he was sitting behind Yost. He's losing a bunch. Back and back and back he goes right there with Sutton, where Sutton clipped Austin Evans there. Now we're going to be watching out for any kind of trouble. Moving their way along here, I would probably say, I don't know if Sutton is going to get any points for no incident points. iRacing's a little finicky like that, so we'll see how that works out. Tommy Delago may have to change his strategy here for the rest of this race, as they've only got about 20 laps left to go. Taking a look top side here where Tommy Delago is working on the outside of Robert Lynch. He's only got about a paper length of bumper on him. But Robert Lynch is going to be able to get the breakaway, and Randy Bledsoe is now on the bottom. Richard Suddeth following the same line, trying not to lose any draft from Tommy Delago. Delago's got the run on the outside. Bledsoe's going to have to file in. Let's see if Tommy Delago drops to the bottom. He does not. Stays out there. Stays to the outside. Randy Bledsoe going to try to capitalize on it, but just too much speed on the outside line for Tommy Delago, and now is losing any kind of draft help as Tommy Delago is getting behind Lynch. We want to give a shout out there to Phillip Temples, who's really been on a great run the past couple of weeks here. Now out to about a 3/4 second lead off Bomb Dude. So Bomb Dude's sitting second. He's got a long way to go. There's Delago dropping to the bottom here, seeing if he can find that line where Robert Lynch is. Lynch started running high side as well because they're starting to think everybody else has calmed down. Battle's only really happening up front here as we rotate back where Butch Gilpin is, trying to see if he can get around Larry Fairman. He's got Larry Fairman behind him here. Definitely, yeah, he's cleared him pretty good there. Dean Viney up 8 positions, sitting 10th. So we saw Rob Yost there way in the front, but looks like something has happened here, and I think, there's Bomb Dude, inside line caution. It seems we're getting about 5 or 6 laps here, and then something's happening to these tires, and these guys are getting spun around again. Last caution we had was back on lap 11. Now we're on 19. All right, let's cut away and figure out what exactly happened to Robert Doig here in the number 9. He ended up getting way loose there in his Chevrolet and then ended up wiping out there. He's got a bunch of damage on the rear of that truck. Let's figure out what happened. Well, I would probably say normally it takes a little while, but when we get looking at this one will be pretty squared away. You can definitely see Robert Lynch getting way loose. Net code. Nothing but net code right there. As you see, Lynch's truck looks like it's sideways, but he's got about half a truck length between the two of them, and it spins the number 9 of Doig around here. So they didn't even make contact. Unfortunately, the 9 just couldn't get it out of the wall there, and a massive amount of damage to him on the side of his truck. And I believe that is puffing smoke out of the back of it, so Mr. Doig will be out of the race because he's going to be blown apart. If he has engine damage, that thing is done. Pit road lights up once again. Everybody coming back down here. Interesting enough to see how many people are coming down. Definitely taking a gamble on that second set of tires. I probably wouldn't here. But Phillip Temples, Tommy Delago, Daniel Holloway, 1, 2, and 3 now, all fuel stops. Great idea. Austin Evans, a fuel stop as well. Looks like everybody else goes ahead and takes tires, starting with Lynch, Bledsoe, Robertson, and Sudden Death. To round out the top 10 will be Larry Fairman and Butch Gilpin ended up taking tires. So interesting calls by everybody out here on the track. I'm kind of interested to see what how this one ends up. We've got guys on older tires. We got guys on newer tires. And we also have guys out there with no tires left in pit. And what's on the truck may be the end. So if they start loosening up, there is no safety barrier. That's what they've got. That's as good as it's going to get. But taking a look at, at a bunch of drivers out here on the track, it's hard to say really where a good place and what a good strategy is kind of with these cautions happening. It definitely messes up your attitude on the race. What happens? Where do you need to be? Was this the exact way you were kind of looking at it going? And it's a real bummer. But hate to see that. But I believe Robert Doig may be out of the race on this one. I may be incorrect. Look at that. Back out on the track. He had smoke coming from his truck. Wow. Let's see if we can get a hold of Robert Doig here and see if we can grab a hold of him. Hopefully he's nice and calm here. Nice and calm. Robert Doig, you got a copy?
Yeah, Patrick, I do. How you doing, man?
All right, man. Well, I don't want to poke the bear here, but netcode strikes again from our angle.
Netcode, really?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we saw you on the outside there of Robert Lynch. Robert Lynch looks like he started getting loose, but there was about a half a truck length between the two of you guys, and you broke loose and started spinning.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. How bad is the truck banged up there, man?
Well, I had 43 seconds of required and 3 minutes and 45 seconds of optional. So
All right. Wow. Wait, from what we saw, that is a heck of a lot better than what it could have been. We saw engine smoke coming off your truck, so I hope it's not underpowered, and that's all the required pair you had to take here, man. But what's kind of the outlook for the rest of the race?
pretty grim because it is underpowered, and I'll probably be riding back here in the back, getting lapped a couple times. We'll see.
All right, well, hopefully, if there is another caution, I'm sure you would appreciate one of those. Sit down there for another minute of repair. Give me your shout-outs here, man.
Roger, to you, Patrick, the Simtrax, 5-Star Beverages, and Tommy D, Beef Jerky Unlimited, and Real Optics.
All right, I like that. All right, Robert. Robert, appreciate it, man. Good luck to you for the rest of the night, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Patrick.
Everybody, Robert Doig, we had a little chat with him. I hate to see that, but hey, it could have been a lot worse the way he hit that wall. Normally, when you hit the wall and your engine's smoking, you're looking at a minimum of 10 to 12 minutes. But that really, he's able to capitalize on that. Speaking of capitalizing, Tommy Delago is really going to be trying to press Phillip Temples here as they get restarted. Tire spin by Robert Lynch. Lynch put on 4 tires with a 15-second pit stop and did not get him warm enough before that start. So now he's going to be in the chase, and definitely a separation starting with Robertson, I believe. Robertson about a half a second off the back end of Randy Bledsoe here. And side by side, Tommy Delago and Daniel Holloway. Holloway definitely trying to see if he can get something going here on the inside. Highest spot he's had all night, 5 positions up for him. Chevrolets, all except one Ford in the top 5. Adam Robertson being that one. Starting to get loose as Sudden Death. Sudden Death looking like he's getting a little, getting way loose here. I'm sure Butch Gilpin, who's been on a roll here so far, up 10 positions and continuing, didn't like seeing that 95 getting way loose on the inside of him. Robert Lynch, the only Toyota out here tonight, able to sit 6th. Robertson sitting 5th. Let's rotate our way back up front where I think Tommy Delago is still trying to get that Hershey Kiss machine behind him. But his biggest feat right now is he has got to figure out how to run down Phillip Temples. Phillip Temples has been on a roll here as of the past couple of weeks right now, and he is he's going to be chasing this guy down. He has been in a lot of trouble. Phillip Temples even placed 4th last week and pole both of those times. So watch out for Phillip Temples because I think he's got a win coming here pretty soon. And I don't know if he's going to be, he may be able to get another one here tonight. What I'm saying is, can Tommy Delago run him down and pass him? And with only about less than just a little over a 1/10 of a second here, Tommy Delago is all over and trying to give that number 17 AAA something to think about. Right now, you see we're taking a ride along with Tommy Delago. You see him kind of running just about the same line, not letting Phillip Temples get away here. Definitely trying to keep up with him. We saw him earlier in the turn stay a little higher than Phillip Temples, but the more Delago runs back here, with behind Phillip Temples, now you're going to start running into dirty air, and he may never get around him. So Tommy Delago may have to take a couple of gambling shots here, get a little to the outside, a little to the inside on that backstretch to get some fresh air to the nose of his 86 Chevrolet and see if he can make a pass here pretty soon. Butch Gilpin's still up to 7th. Looks like Larry Fairman trying to follow along, but with Sudden Death here on the bottom line. Seems he's kind of tightened up that race car after the first little spin that he had earlier. Larry Fairman's Ford, the second one in the top 10. Jerome Cooper back here, sitting 11th, trying to be the 3rd. Jerome Cooper's at least been on a decent roll here today. 5 positions for him as we got smoke heading down the backstretch. Couple of drivers may be making contact up here. Look like Dean Viney and Fairman may have made contact with one another. Rob Yost still dealing with some issues here in the back on the 83 Ford. He's back here with Billy Stanley, 12th and 13th. A lot of trouble out of these drivers, and I think this track kind of threw a couple things at them that they didn't expect. think some of these drivers have a different outlook on the on this track. I'm sure Phillip Temples would like to fill this one with water. Dorothy would say there's no place like home, but some of these guys would like to take a bulldozer to it. Definitely, they hate to see what happened out there in the chat. Somebody's asking what happened to Fireball. Fireball Woody ended up getting spun out there right on the first lap when Greg Myers ended up turning. Just a set of cold tires. Greg Myers ended up turning. I think Fireball Woody caught the back end of him, slung him into the grass, and Fireball's got a bunch of damage. He's looking about 27 minutes in pit road for him right now. I believe he said he had about 30 out there. So he will be the last one, hopefully, to get back out there. I think Doig is realizing, I think his truck is starting to underpower and he's broken. So back down pit road for him. He's going to try to get some more of that fixed up. Back to the lead, Phillip Temples and Tommy Delago. I'd give it to Delago here. Not letting up one bit. Right all over him. Let's try to see how the battle for 3, 4, and 5 are going. Daniel Holloway has dropped down now to 4th. Randy Bledsoe, 11 positions on his charge here. But Daniel Holloway does remain conservative most of his races. So he may sit back a little bit, kind of wasting these tires, trying to hold on to the tires and not waste them, and trying to see if he can get caught back up here. Holloway now chasing 4th place for him. Now Robert Lynch, now 5th. Lynch trying to keep Robertson out of the top 5 here. 21 Toyota on the bottom. Even going side by side. There's a stick between the two. We might start a fire here. These guys have been going back and forth for the past few laps here. Looks like Daniel Holloway sitting toward the top. I wonder if Robertson here is going to get caught up with him and try and give him a heck of a push. But Butch Gilpin still sitting 7th, and now that he's caught the draft of Robertson, he may be able to pick up the pace and get a couple more passes under his belt. The only person who's passed more drivers is Randy Bledsoe by 1, but he's sitting 3rd. Ooh, man, I think we see somebody clipping the wall here. I think that's Larry Fairman. Well, left a little paint there on the safer barrier here of Kansas Motor Speedway. So Larry Fairman back down to 11th. He's at least moved up 1 position. Robertson still stood 6th, and Gilpin's got it. Gilpin trying to hold the inside. Right now, Gilpin's Chevrolet doing an awesome job here on the inside. Seems to be paying off here pretty well. Gilpin did take 4 tires last time he was down pit road. And then he's capitalizing on this. Rotating back up to Lynch and Holloway. Holloway trying to run down actually Randy Bledsoe. But I just don't know. Taking a look at our little ticker up there toward the top. 0.3 of a second for Tommy Delago running down Temples. And Temples might have the truck here tonight. So far, so good. I'm like seeing Randy Bledsoe up here. Robertson ended up getting his win last week. I did make a mention that originally I had seasoned guys had yet to get a win here, defending champs of 1 and 2 season, and neither one of them had gotten a win yet, but Robertson broke that last week. I thought Randy Bledsoe might have something for him this week, but a podium position for him would be perfect as they got 3 to go once they hit this line. Temples, Delago, and Bledsoe, 1, 2, and 3 here, doing an awesome job. Butch Gilpin has moved up 11 positions as well, looking for 12. Daniel Holloway on the outside. These 2 Chevrolets going at it side by side, coming out of 2. What does the 18 decide to do? Does he tuck in behind him, or does he dive into 3? Look like he's going to try to aim for the fresh air in 3 here. Holloway may have been getting loose. Holloway did have a 5.8 second pit stop, and it may be costing him here. We saw earlier he was taking fuel and goes, but now he's able to get a lot of distance there just on that front stretch. So whatever Holloway's doing, it's working for right now as we come up with only 2 to go. Delago running out of time if he's looking to get the lead. Might have to change his strategy here if he wants to keep up. Robert Lynch in the 3rd. He conquered Randy Bledsoe. Bledsoe now behind him. And Lynch trying to get it going. Now Lynch originally started 3rd. Ooh, Bledsoe loose out of 4, and that's going to do it for him. Now Holloway's got it. Holloway on the inside. These 2 side by side as it's now white flag out. Delago back by half a second here, and way back beyond that, another 2.2 seconds off Delago is Robert Lynch. So Temples running away with this one here tonight. Excellent job by him. Holy cow, as we got a battle heading to the front. Looks like Butch Gilpin up to the 6th position. Excellent job. Phillip Temples coming home to the win. There he goes. Tommy Delago 2nd and Robert Lynch 3rd. Excellent job. Yeah, Butch Gilpin was running down Randy Bledsoe. I think another 2 laps, and Bledsoe may have been out of the top 5 here. That could have been pretty bad. Unfortunately, he was able to outrun all these guys. Great job by all our drivers out there. Get our piece up here in just a moment. Let's see if we can get our guys down here. Wow, awesome job. Phillip Temples, Delago, Lynch. Hard charger of the race was Butch Gilpin, sitting 6th. He moved up 11 positions. Doig ended up getting nailed with some iRacing, with some net code there on the outside. So hate to see that for him. Hopefully, we can get that straightened out as they head to Chicagoland next round. Rich Blake out there rooting on Phillip Temples. Temples got the win. Glad to see you out there, Rich Blake. Hey, Rich, I'm still waiting on you, man. Where you at? All right, let's go ahead and get this cleared up here, and let's run down our drivers. Alrighty, everybody, we have caught up with him. Robert Lynch out here on the track. Robert, talk to me here, man. What a wild run this was tonight. Did you talk to Robert Doig there a little bit?
I did. I apologize, but I don't know how. I know we were close, but I didn't think I touched him. And next thing I know, he got turned.
Yeah, 100.
And so
yeah, 100.
So I apologize to him because I'm the only guy that was there. So.
Yeah, 100%. We took a look at it here from the broadcast station and kind of gave it that chopper view. Net code. There was nothing. Yeah, there was about half a truck between the two of you guys. It looked like you started getting loose a little bit, and then it ended up spinning him. So it was pretty rough there, man. Definitely a nasty one. But hey, you guys live to fight another day. Speaking of which, that brings us to Chicagoland next week with your 3rd place finish tonight. How you feeling at that track?
I like Chicagoland, so it should be another good run. So.
All right, well, Chicagoland, and then you guys will have an off week. Robert Lynch, talk to me here, man. Yeah, give me shout outs because we got to get you practicing for Chicago.
Well, I'd apologize again, man. Net code, there ain't nothing I could do about that. But sorry about that to Robert Doig. I hate to see that happen to him. But I can't thank AK Racing enough for my team there with my son and my grandson. Hound Dog Racing with Billy Stanley, and Bledsoe's, and of course GRacelandShootoutSeries.com. We got our website up and running, so please go to it and check it out, guys. And thank you, Patrick, for Simtrack Broadcasting for a wonderful job you're doing with us. And thanks to all our drivers. I mean, they're fantastic drivers. I mean, racing accidents happen, but at least I think we're starting to keep our heads a little bit cooler, not getting all upset and yelling and everything like that, which is a good thing to hear. So I just want to thank the drivers and thank the fans.
All righty. Well, I would say, Robert, the tighter the the tighter the points get, I think that's where the tempers start flaring a little bit. Robert Lynch, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. That moves us to Tommy Delago. I think it's funny. So I think some of these guys are going to ask me to talk to them later on or earlier on in the race because if I talk to them, they seem to be doing pretty well. Tommy Delago did pretty well. Ended up getting on the pole, but lost a position coming second here. Tommy, what? Top line didn't seem to work too well. Bottom line was a better idea, or was just Phillip Temples just on a streak tonight?
Well, he's always fast. Top line was there just to save tires, but with the couple yellows we had that, and as short as these sprint races are, top line was going to be there if we used one set of tires with no yellows. That was going to save that for the end of the race. But when the yellows start happening, like I said before, I had to change my strategy. And Phil and I were pretty well matched, and really, I had one chance to maybe pass him, but it was a little bit too ballsy, and I started thinking about points, and figured, you know what? Pole position, no incident points, and second place finish ain't too shabby.
Yeah, no kidding. But I always wonder, when you end up at a track like this and you just barely missed it, how does that get your mindset for Chicagoland next week?
Oh, I didn't miss it. I chose to not push the issue, and this isn't one of my favorite tracks, but just go back and get back after it next weekend. I'm Chicagoland, I happen to be pretty good there usually. We'll just see how it goes. Obviously most leagues that I race are 100 laps or more, so I'm still having to adapt and change my brain into realizing we only do 35 laps, or we're doing short races. So sometimes I think I'm a little bit too conservative part of the race, so I decided to be aggressive there. And Phil and I kind of pulled away from the field. And but me being behind him and him being in clean air, it finally took its toll on the tires. So I backed her off a little bit and make sure I didn't wreck either one of us, and we both get our points and go to the next week. You gotta definitely, it'd be nice to win races. We've won this year, and every race that we haven't been wrecked out of, we've finished in the top 3. And when it comes to points racing, that's pretty good. So I'm happy. We'll just move on to the next week. And just tip my hat to Phillip Temples for winning the race.
Yep. And good, clean driving all the time, especially up there in the front. Congratulations, man. Give me a shout-outs for all the sponsors and people out here watching.
Well, like we did before, Real Optics, man. Lose the glasses, get the inserts. They'll let you wear your VR for hours with the blue light blockers they have in them, and they actually made my VR even clearer. Obviously, Beef Jerky Unlimited. Most people say it's some of the best jerky they've ever had. I think it's pretty good. I don't know if it's the best out there, but we appreciate the business we get from everybody, and we're very proud of our product. Obviously, another shout out to my wife, who's probably upstairs waiting for me to get ready for dinner. So I got to get out of here.
All right. Well, I'll see you at Chicagoland. Congratulations tonight.
Thank you, man. Thanks for everything you do in SimTrax. Thanks, man.
Hey, not a problem. All right, everybody. That will be Tommy Delago. That moves us to our race winner. Big time moves there by Phillip Temples. I am not surprised to be talking to the number 17 once again. 17 Meineke Chevrolet here in Victory Lane once again. Talk to me about tonight's race. Any were you nervous at all about Tommy Delago behind you?
No.
Well, you also had I believe it was come on brain, Rob Yost. Rob Yost in the 83 Ford. He ended up 11th here tonight. Don't know 100% what happened to him. What was the hardest part about the track here tonight?
I didn't have a problem.
None. Everything felt fine. Everything went exactly the way you wanted it to.
Yes, everything went according to plan all week long.
All right, man.
It was good, man. It was good.
All right. Well, definitely can't get a hype out of you, man. Definitely another win here. You are already in the points lead. This is going to stretch it just a little bit farther. Especially where you ended up placing qualifying and probably, most likely, no incident points out of you, so it will only extend your lead. Talk to me about heading to Chicago. How confident you feel?
I don't know. I think I've run there maybe 2 or 3 times on iRacing. So,
are there any tricks to keep the truck from losing grip there?
Probably not over driving in the corner, maybe.
There you go. I was gonna say that a lot of people complain. It feels really weird heading on that front the front stretches. Once you enter turn one, the truck tries to walk out from underneath of you, and I hope not a whole lot of cautions, but there are definitely a couple to be expected. Phillip Temples, another win from you this season. Congratulations on the 17. Meineke, give me a shout out here.
I'd like to thank Billy and for hosting this league, and 5-Star Beverage and Beef Jerky Unlimited. Hey, I got them all right this time.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Phillip Temples. We'll see you next week, bud. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
All right, everybody. That should do it. Phillip Temples, Tommy Delago, and Robert Lynch, 1, 2, and 3. Appreciate Miss Holloway coming out for our Grand Marshal of today. We'll catch up with you guys a little bit later on here, especially next week, Chicagoland. So on March 4th is where these guys are going to end up. Then they'll have an off week after that, so you guys will be able to kind of calm down. Drivers take a little bit of a break and kind of wind it down there a little bit. Appreciate you guys joining us. What a wild run it was here tonight. At least a decently clean one. Unfortunately, one iRacing issue, but that we can't avoid that all the time. But I will catch up with you guys next time. Be well, be safe, be kind. Bye, guys.